My name is Mark Giroux. I'm the founder, chairman, and CEO of Curve Therapeutics. We do central nervous system drug delivery and treatment. The hypothesis of getting drugs into the brain through the nasal cavity was first put forth in the late 80s. It was not until we came along that it actually became successful or even possible. The problem was the anatomy and the inherent problems inside the nasal cavity that didn't allow access. We solved that problem and got the drugs to the olfactory region, and now we have direct access into the brain. We don't have to worry about the blood-brain barrier that the infusions do. So we have completely solved that problem. We are in process now with more than 16 products in the pipeline for nose-to-brain drug delivery, 3 of which are phase 3 ready. So we've done phase 1, phase 2, and phase 2B with the FDA, and we have hit our endpoints and separated from placebo, which is really important and why we're a significant player in this space. But we also got 3,000% more in the brain than an infusion did. So we have tremendous dose flexibility so that we can actually help the patient be safe as well as get the efficacy of the treatment. So it's a much better offering to the patient and to the medical community than what they have presently. And the biggest problem that they have presently is that the crossing of the blood-brain barrier is so difficult that they have to put a highly toxic dose in there so that the brain doesn't react well. And some of them are causing a lot of brain bleeds. We don't have any of that. So not only can we make it better efficaciously, but we can actually make it much safer. We've have a really strong safety profile. We're delivering insulin directly to the brain in 7 different trials. In those trials, we haven't had a single adverse event. So we're not only is the nasal mucosa not being affected, but the olfactory region is very durable and it's passing things through. We're using probably 12 or 13 different formulations right now. Some of them are proteins, peptides, monoclonal antibodies, polyclonal antibodies. All of them remain intact. All of them enter the brain. Recently, we've done stem cells with an oncolytic virus that shrunk a brain tumor by 50%. So we're able to get very large products into the brain from the nasal cavity that were considered heretofore impossible. We have 16 pipeline products. So anywhere from monoclonals, polyclonals, neuropeptides, we have proteins, we've done combination products. We've done as many as 4 drugs in a single dose into the brain. Took care of a brain tumor that way as well. So there's really nothing we've been asked to deliver that we could not. So we've been tested. And it's been independently verified by other labs. The molecule leaves the device intact, and we get it in the brain. It's a pretty good partnership. We consider it to be the future. There's 600 neurodegenerative diseases. Admittedly, most of those are orphans, but there are orphans that can use our therapy, so we just want to partner with as many as we can. We're going to do probably 4 to 6 products with a Curve label on it. The other 10 we're going to out-license, but then after those 10, there's another 100 that we can do. So as a single company, no single company is going to launch 100 products in a timely fashion, right? So we need to help these people right now. So we had an autism patient say their first words at age 15. We've had PTSD patients just lower that waterline, and now they're safe to be around. A traumatic brain injury as well with the DOD. It's been really rewarding and not something that you can take lightly. It's actually quite humbling when a patient who was wheelchair bound and couldn't talk anymore stands up, walks over to you and says hi. All right, that happened to me on a Zoom, and it was really powerful. The husband was crying his eyes out. It's an emotional time. It's actually really rewarding. It's nice. If we had money for the phase 3, we'd feel a little better. Okay, this is the device that we're moving to for phase 3. It's small and light and quiet. That's it running. It's going to be very efficient for the patient. This comes pre-filled. When it runs out, you just get rid of it and you put a new one on. Even if you're dexterously challenged, like a lot of our Parkinson's patients and Alzheimer's patients are, it's still something they can do. It's really simple. And so when you're done with it, you just throw that out, put a new one on, And effectively, we're partners now with the patient. All they have to do is maintain this piece, which will last minimum 10 years, and then they're just replacing the cartridge. So we're not going to make them buy a device really often, because what we ideally want is they treat more than one condition with more than one cartridge, right? So it's pre-programmed. It has a lot of electronics in it. You use it for as long as the motor's running, and then you just switch sides, do the other. For Alzheimer's, this thing takes 48 seconds a day to treat Alzheimer's, right? 24 seconds in the morning, 24 seconds in the evening, and the whole machine is kept in the fridge. So basically what we tell the patients to do is just stand there in front of a refrigerator and just use it and put it right back. That's it. When it's empty, chuck it, pop a new one on. It's very simple, very small, very quiet, very discreet. And if your verbal fluency, short-term memory, and attention span starts to return, it's not something you're going to give up. Well, we're doing a Regulation A plus raise, plus we're also trying to do some Reg D. But what we really need is money to do the phase 3. We're one clinical trial from launch, so what we want to do is do the final phase 3, get it on the market, and then there's a lot of other things we can do. But there are caregivers and patients out there right now where time is not their friend, right? They're going to progress. So if we're 3 years from launch, that's 3 years they go down the road. So we have to be able to make it available to them right now, and we can do that. So if you're a caregiver, you're a patient, or you have a loved one with it, contact us at Curve, and we will help you out. We can actually get you access to the technology ahead of a clinical trial, or we can get you into a clinical trial. So what we want to do is really have an impact on the patient and the caregiver's lives. The caregiver's lives are miserable, right? They're taking care of a loved one. It's unpaid caregiving most of the time. 2/3 of them are female, and sometimes they're taking care of an in-law, right? So it's just a burden. $257 billion in lost productivity in Alzheimer's alone. Just unpaid caregiving. We need to relieve that stress, and we can put that energy back into the economy rather than siphoning it off. So we're working with the FDA, we're working with the NIH, we're working with the DOD, and we're working with caregivers and patients on a daily basis. Locally, here in Newport Beach, California, we have 150 patients that are on a compassionate use basis. We talk to every day. Right? We get a chance to interact with the patient. How are they doing? Are they sliding? Are they getting significantly better? And we have some patients walking around this building right now just to do testimonials for us, because they're, thank you for giving me back my dad. Thank you for giving me back my wife. Those kinds of things. Those are the kind of stories that kept us going when, money was tight and clinical trials are expensive. But we were making a real impact on the patient and the caregivers, and they were like, so excited about it that we couldn't stop. So we stuck with it, and now we're here at, the eve of phase 3, and we just need the money.